Hey, this is Amanda from The Fundamental Home, and today is Wednesday, and I wanted to kind of do a follow-up video on last week's Real Beauty video. I'm going to link that up here. I got the right side, yay! I'm going to link that so you can take a look at that if you haven't seen it. And in that video, I pretty much just talked about how even though I'm not perfect on the outside, you know, I want to just accept who I am and believe that I'm beautiful, even if there are imperfections, you know, because this is who I am. And there is beauty there, even though it doesn't meet everyone else's standard, you know. And so, but I was thinking about it after reading all of the comments and all of the messages and everything everyone sent to me. Thank you, by the way. It was a really wonderful thing. And I wanted to talk to you about not just the exterior beauty, but the interior beauty. Because I think a lot of times people look back on themselves and look back on their imperfections and things that they haven't done necessarily the best in their lives, and they start to feel bad about themselves internally, even if they feel okay about themselves externally. And sometimes people feel bad about themselves externally and internally. And I think that I've been one of those people from time to time. It just kind of depends on when you're catching me. But you know, all of us have imperfections. Just like we have imperfections on the outside, we have imperfections within ourselves. And I think most of us recognize our imperfections and are constantly trying to do better and to improve upon ourselves and to just make changes so that you can do your best as you move forward. Well, I have, as you know, I'm constantly trying to improve myself. You know, I'm constantly trying to do what I can to improve our diet, improve our budget, improve all the things that my children are doing at homeschool, because just like everyone else, we've changed things here and there, and we've tried to upgrade and do better every year that we've done it. And it's kind of like that in life. You know, every year you try to do better and better, but sometimes people get so stuck in all of their negativity in their past or their previous decisions, things like that. So people just get stuck in that and they start to feel bad about themselves, just like people who start to feel bad about themselves on the outside can kind of get stuck and not be able to do anything, not be able to impact people in a positive way. If you start to feel bad about yourself, who you are and what you've done in the past, it also negatively impacts your ability to move forward and help yourself and help others. And so I was like that. I have not lived a perfect life. I haven't. I have gotten compared to Michelle Duggar more than once. And if we have learned anything in the past year, it's that nobody lives a perfect life. And Michelle Duggar is a perfect example. But everyone has things that they're not proud of in their past. You know, everyone has things that they wish they could change. And so I have things like that too, just like everybody else. So those things that I'm not proud of that are in my past and in my life, those things sometimes people bring to my attention, kind of want to shove in my face and make me feel bad about myself. And sometimes occasionally I do that to me. You know, sometimes I'll tell my own self, you really can't do that because you're not this. You know, you really can't do that. You know, you've done this in the past and you really shouldn't do that. And it impacts my ability to focus on what's good and what's right. There's a time in my life many years ago where I really let that get me bogged down. It felt like there were a lot of people on me being critical of my life and who I was and who I'd been. Before I married Rick, I was actually divorced. Now, I've been with Rick for 18 years now, so I mean, we've been together an awfully long time. But that's just one of those things that people want to bring up and point out that I'm imperfect, as though I don't know. Or maybe it's because I do know, I don't know. I think sometimes maybe they even want to remind me, in case I'm feeling a little too uppity. Rest assured, I never forget. I don't ever need anyone to tell me that I'm not perfect. I don't ever need anyone to point it out. It's always there. Okay? You know, there was a time where people were really unkind to both me and my husband because I've been divorced. Some people felt that we shouldn't be allowed to join a church. Some people felt that we shouldn't be allowed to do any ministry. I couldn't teach Sunday school. Some people felt that he shouldn't be able to do certain things within ministry because he'd married a divorced woman. And a lot of people put pressure on us about that. And it took some time. It took some time, but the Lord really showed us through his word what was truth and what wasn't. And so I think Rick and I have actually come to a place where we feel very solid about our place in ministry and what the Lord would have us to do, whether other people agree with it or not. But we haven't always felt that way. You know, there was a time when we were very kind of on fire for the Lord, wanting to do a lot, but still kind of new, still learning things. And when people were telling us all of these things that we couldn't do, it really put through my head this thought that I was not worthy. I didn't deserve to do anything or be anything for the Lord because I was imperfect. When, if you read the Bible, people, you know that God loves the imperfect. You know, it's not the well that need the physician, it's the sick. So, but I remember not being in the same place and sitting in church and feeling completely unworthy. And the thought just kept going through my head, unworthy. And the pastor was preaching on Nehemiah, and he was talking about Nehemiah's name and what it meant, and how important it was for Nehemiah to understood the meaning of his name, because God was trying to tell him something through the meaning of his name, and how the Lord was going to use that in other people's lives too. And he said, you know, you really need to know what your name means, because the Lord is trying to tell you something through your name, and it's something that's for you, and it's something that's for other people. And even though I was sitting in this back pew, and it's always the back pew, right, thinking that I was unworthy, something that the preacher was saying got through to me. And when he said, you need to know what your name means, and I thought to myself, what does my name mean? And I actually knew what my name meant. I just had to pause for a second and think about it, and then I realized what my name meant. And Amanda means worthy of love. I really needed someone to tell me at that moment that I was worthy of love. And it changed my outlook. If you've been around me at all ever, you've probably heard that story, because it really changed everything that I did. Because up until that point, I'd really kind of taken a back seat, being unsure of my relationship with the Lord and my ability to do anything worthwhile. And he pointed out to me that I was worthy of his love and of the love of others. And not only that, but he showed me how he would have me tell other people that they were worthy of love. And so I really tried to do that. I really tried to show people that they're worthy of love from God, worthy of love from others, and worthy of loving themselves, you know? So last week I talked to you about loving yourself in spite of your imperfections that are outward. This week I wanted to talk to you about loving yourself in spite of any imperfections that are inward. You know, even if other people don't know them, you do. And they might be holding you back. You know, moms all the time are giving themselves second, third, and last best, just so everyone else can have what's number one, you know. Moms eat last, normally. Moms eat whatever's left over, you know. And we tell ourselves it's because our children are first, and I think, of course, we need to take care of our children, but not at our own expense. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying put yourself first and push everybody aside. No. Take care of the people who are important in your life. what I am saying is, don't neglect yourself, thinking that by doing so, that you are helping others. Because if you're neglecting yourself and putting yourself last, you're actually hurting those people that you love in your life. But sometimes we get this whole mindset that we're being sacrificial, and we're not. We're not. We're being selfish in a different way when we neglect ourselves. And so I wanted to tell you that because I think that so many people, just based on all the messages and the comments that I have, it's, you know, Shonda from Six Little Ducklings, she had said in her video, and you know what, I'm going to link that up here. Yeah, I got it right again. I'm going to link that up here. Shonda said in her video that chances are if you have issues with your external, it's because you have issues internally. And she was right. When she said that, that totally hit me. Chances are those are issues that are popping up everywhere. So I thought from now on we would do a Worthy Wednesday, and we would just talk about different things that are relevant, that are coming up in your lives, coming up in my life, just to encourage you, to help you to feel as though you are worthy of all the things that we're going to be doing. You know, I know that it sounds so little, you know, taking care of your budget, taking care of your health. All of those things you can work on and make happen if you're willing to do the work. But you have to feel like there is a purpose and a motivation to do that, okay? And a lot of times people might do it for their kids, or they might do it for a spouse, but if everything's not working right in their life, they just let it all fall apart, you know? And it's because they don't feel like they themselves are worthy enough of that effort. You know, they need somebody to push them and prod them and motivate them outwardly. But I kind of want to change that. I want to change that in me. And I'm assuming you want to change that in you. I don't want my motivation to always be outward. You know, my kids are growing up. They're not always going to be my reason for doing everything, you know. They're going to be out of the house soon, and then what? You know? Lord forbid something happened to my husband, then what? You know, I have to have a reason to do these things, and it has to be internal. It has to be more than just other people pushing in on me. It has to be me going outward, you know? I feel like I'm not explaining that right, but I hope you're getting it. So anyway, Worthy Wednesday is going to be a place where we can come together and I can encourage you and you can encourage me, recognizing that we're all imperfect people, outwardly and inwardly, but we're all working every day to be better. And we're working every day to be better because we're worth it. We're worthy. We're a person. You know, just like I said last week on my video, I didn't even kind of recognize myself as a person until I watched myself on video every day. And I'm telling you, if you haven't done that, if you have trouble, if you think so poorly about yourself that you have trouble putting any effort into yourself, start videotaping yourself every day. Because the more you start to see yourself as a person, the more you feel bad that you're treating that person on the camera bad. You know, that you're neglecting that person. You know, I would never dare let my children miss a meal. I mean, never would they miss a meal. But I would. I'd skip a meal. I'd be like, oh, I'm not important. You know, why? If Ricky told me that he wasn't going to eat lunch or breakfast, I would nag that boy to death. And yet I allow myself to do it because I don't think I'm important. But moms, we're important. So that's our purpose every week with Worthy Wednesday. So I hope this has been a positive video for you. I hope that you see where I'm going with this, and I hope you'll be back next Wednesday. And I don't know what we're going to talk about just yet. Someone talked to me today about talking about negative people in your life, and maybe we'll talk about that, I don't know. But things like that. This is just an encouragement for you to get those internal things out, because all the external things, all the walking, all the budgeting, all the different things that we're doing, they're just outward. And they're not going to mean much unless we get the inward right. So anyway, leave me a comment. Leave me a good one, because I've had some negative ones lately. I need a positive comment. I keep asking for them. Speaking of which, if you haven't entered, I do have a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I'll link to that over here too, right? There we go. I gotta get a little closer. I'm gonna link that over here. And if you haven't entered that, all you have to do to enter that is leave a positive comment on that video that I just linked to up here. So do me a favor and link positive comment there and one here. But if you do it there, you enter the contest. If you do it here, it's just an encouragement to me. And you know, like, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do if you think this is good for you. And I hope you'll stick around. And I hope we can encourage one another. And that is my whole goal with this YouTube channel, is just to encourage and bless one another. So that's that. You guys have a great Wednesday. Remember, you're worthy on Wednesday. And I will see you tomorrow.